I'm Kristen Jorgensen, and I am doing my Peak Experience assignment. With me today, I have Dominic, Jackie, Asen, who's rolling his eyes at me right now, and Lauren on video. Camera.
Your face is too close.
So the whole reason we had to do this speech was something that changed our perspective on life, which it could have been a number of things, but I chose something that was more recent in my life. And I don't like doing this speech, so mind me if I don't look at the camera a lot. So after 30 years of enduring migraines and IBS, on August 3rd, 2013, I decided I'd had enough. So this is the story of my difficult but chosen, my choosing, life-altering journey. It's a pretty personal story, but it's something that I think can help other people. And so that's why I wanted to share today. To give you a background, I started having migraines when I was 12. I'd have at least one migraine a month, if not more, to the point where I'd faint, I'd vomit, I'd miss school or not. It wasn't a fun thing. You'd have blurred vision. If you've had migraines, you know what it's like. And as a kid, you don't really get it. And at that age, preteen, you're trying to also figure out a lot of other things with your body, and it was very difficult. I was a dancer too, so it was tough for me to not have dance when I couldn't dance for that. IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, was embarrassing as a kid. It was embarrassing as an adult. You're running to the bathroom, you eat, and you don't know when it's going to interrupt your life. You're going to have to excuse yourself from a meeting, from a classroom, from doing something like this at work. I've had to just drop what I'm doing and leave. So I'd had enough. It got to the point where I was at work throwing up all day. I was at home throwing up all day. I was waking up with a constant headache. I was taking pill after pill after pill to make this symptom go away, to not have that symptom, to so on and so forth. My kids would feel awful and scared when I was throwing up at home or having to pull over the car and throw up because I had a migraine. Right, buddy? It's okay. Anyway, at some point you get to the point where, a pill's not going to fix it, a pill's not going to make it better, a pill's not going to make it go away. And I found this amazing place, UW, University of Wisconsin, Integrative Medicine Department, which takes a whole body approach, a mind, body, spirit approach, and they don't want to give you medication. They want you to learn the symptoms and the why so you can get rid of the cause. So that's kind of my story. I didn't think it would be easy, but I didn't know how difficult it would be for 14 weeks to have to be able to eat very little. As far as very little, I mean what you're used to eating from a box. I want mac and cheese, I want, pasta, I want a sandwich, you want soup, you want, but everything I had to eat, read labels, to cleanse my body so that I could start over kind of from scratch and square one. Hey, so what are you doing? So my body could have a chance to figure out what was wrong. So for 14 weeks I was, in cahoots with a dietitian and a nutritionist who basically helped me figure out what I could eat, because all I could focus on at first was what I couldn't eat. And that's kind of overwhelming at first when you hear all these things you can't eat, and everywhere you look is everything you can't eat. You can't go out to eat. Everything you want to make your family, you really can't make. So reading labels was a really eye-opening piece of this, to realize how much wheat and soy and sugar and additives are put into our food for no reason, for no good reason, other than companies and corporations make money on figuring out and paying scientists to figure out exactly how many Doritos we should eat before we want to eat a whole bag, and things like that. So looking at labels was very time consuming to go shopping, etc. Anyway, after 2 weeks I gradually realized what I could and couldn't eat, and I got to the point after those 2 weeks I'd cleansed my body. I was allowed to try a food for one day, one morning. If it agreed with me, I could try it at night, and then the next 2 days not try anything. And first on my list was wheat. Wheat I knew was a problem for me. I'd given up most dairy 5 years prior also, knowing that was a problem. So I tried the wheat toast, 2 bites, and I realized, it felt like it was a lump in your throat, like when you get something stuck in your throat. And I thought, oh, I'm just, whatever, I didn't have enough to drink, I tried to excuse it. But when I got to work and I still had the lump in my throat all day, and I got home from work and I had the lump in my throat all day, and just that feeling of you're gagging almost, I had that all day. So I realized, okay, weed is probably one of them. So I went on through this process for several more weeks. At the 8-week mark, I had something scary happen. I choked on food at work, and I didn't know why. I had a sore throat. Turns out I ended up being hospitalized. I had a parapharyngeal abscess, and I truly believe that had I been in my pre-health, not healthy state, it probably would have taken me, because it's not something you can always recover from. They don't always find it, but thankfully an ENT surgeon who had seen this randomly in another person across the country recognized what it could be, and took a chance and did a special scan on my neck, and then did another probe in my throat and found it, and antibiotics treated me. But that was also interesting because there wasn't really much in the hospital I could eat. I'm in a hospital and there's not much I can eat on this diet, nor did they really understand what on earth I was talking about, which is kind of perplexing. But they worked it out and gave me what I could. Mind you, I couldn't swallow, so I didn't have much choice other than popsicles and applesauce anyway. So after these 14 weeks, So after these 14 weeks, what I found is I have a difference of, I used to wake up every morning with a sinus headache. I used to tell my husband, I feel like I got punched in the face. I'd feel like, someone punched me right here and right here, and I always felt like I needed to push my eyes. And my kids, I'd always have them rubbing my face and my head, and when they would, and putting ice on my neck at work, putting ice on my neck and face at home. And that's the biggest thing is going to sleep and being able to sleep and waking up and not feeling like you got run over by a truck. I feel like I took my life back. It wasn't easy, but it's something that if someone wants to try it, I know people who've overcome MS with it. I know people who have overcome certain things with it, but it's not gonna fix everything. It's not gonna fix cancer. It's not gonna fix anything, but some of what we eat, we shouldn't be eating, and that's part of my body. Was why my body chose to react how it did, I don't know, but there's a reason it did, and there's a reason I went through this. I used to feel horribly guilty when my kids would have to take care of me. I should be taking care of my kids. I'm not an old lady who needs help, who needs to be taken care of. So just awaking in the morning with a renewed sense of life, without feeling you got punched and drained before you even get out of bed. So the world shift truly is about the power of diet and how it can change the outcome of disease and eliminate symptoms. I've learned a great deal about how manipulated our food is and why my body's reaction wasn't really that odd in any way. It was actually pretty normal. It's just a matter of taking the time to hear it and listen to it. It can cause a great deal of autoimmune diseases, and it can also lessen autoimmune diseases if your body is reacting to those things. So I don't know, it really turned me in a direction to want to pursue this as a career and help other people who might have similar or even completely different symptoms and want to feel better and want to take their life back without having to pop a pill and a pill and a pill to feel better. That's it.